Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. I am Maria Moreau. This is In Case You Missed It. So let's get into some stories that are making headlines that you might have missed. I want to start with this. The tragic killing of a United Healthcare CEO in Midtown Manhattan has really captured national attention, and now the manhunt continues for the man accused of shooting Brian Thompson. So I want to get into some of what we've learned just in the past 24 hours. The suspected gunman who shot and killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson reportedly took a Greyhound bus from Atlanta to New York. This all comes as this manhunt continues. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill reports from New York.
Morning authorities are combing through new evidence linked to the brazen killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. NYPD have released 2 new images of the man wanted for questioning. In this one, taken at a hostel where police believe he stayed before the shooting, the man smiling.
The police was like right there, and the Iceland fellow told me that his friend was in the same room as that guy, and he was like, no, I'm sure that's it.
Thursday, officers searched the hostel just a few miles from the crime scene as they pieced together a timeline. Officials say the man checked in days before with a fake New Jersey ID. Then, the morning of the killing, at 6:15 a.m., the suspected shooter walked out of a subway station north of the Hilton Hotel. 2 minutes later, cameras inside a nearby Starbucks captured his partially covered face. About half an hour later, police believe he shot and killed Thompson outside the hotel before escaping through an alleyway, then riding a bike to Central Park, where police say he was spotted on surveillance cameras. Less than 15 minutes after the shooting, he left the park and was seen on a home security camera. Richard Esposito is a former NYPD deputy commissioner.
I wouldn't call this person a professional. Professionals, hitmen, assassins, they're in and out, and they're gone.
As the manhunt continues, CBS News confirmed shell casings found at the scene were inscribed with words typically critical of the insurance industry. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
And some other local connections. President-elect Donald Trump tapping former U.S. Senator David Perdue to be the United States ambassador to China. Now, Perdue lost his Senate seat to Senator John Ossoff about 4 years ago and lost a 2022 primary challenge against Governor Brian Kemp. While Mr. Perdue was a senator, he advocated for a more robust naval force to face threats, including those from China. And a big story we're following here, the trial of Jerome Cox. Right now, jury in deliberations. We are on verdict watch here on Atlanta News First Plus, waiting to learn the fate of a man accused of hitting and killing a teenager in Cobb County. Jerome Cox is accused of hitting 17-year-old Olivia Pugh with his car last December in Kennesaw. Now, Cox is charged with vehicular homicide and DUI. Prosecutors argue that he had several beers and was drunk. However, defense attorneys, well, they place blame on a poorly lit crosswalk. So those deliberations are currently underway, and we are streaming it for you on Atlanta News First Plus under our Courts and Trials channel. As soon as we hear any developments with this and a verdict, we will bring that to you live right here on ANF Plus. Let's talk about the holidays. Atlanta police are urging you to follow a few simple steps to avoid being a target of theft as you get your shopping on this holiday season. Officers are encouraging you to keep your cars empty while you shop, which means you shouldn't have any purses, wallets, or presents in clear view. Atlanta News First Brittany Ford has this story on what you should know.
The shopping season is in full swing.
Coming to get a few things for my mother. One of them is I guess a home appliance, so to speak.
If you're shopping for pricey items at Lenox Mall or electronics at stores like Best Buy.
Trying to figure out which one because they're a little pricey.
It's unfortunately also a time where thieves are looking to capitalize.
I kind of dashed in my car just to make sure that everything was going to be fine. You know, because if somebody sees a MacBook, you know, they may be tempted to come after it.
Atlanta police are warning people to stay vigilant.
We do see that uptick this month, running from store to store and leaving things in plain view. We see electronics stolen this time of year, purses taken from cars.
And it's not just for gifts. Authorities say thieves are also targeting cars left running due to the cold weather.
Just this last week, I had 4 vehicles stolen in Southwest Atlanta because the car was warmed up.
Police say being aware and reporting suspicious activity
If you see something, say something.
are steps that can save you from the Grinches out there this holiday season.
It kind of dampens the spirit a little bit, but I try to let it, I try to be safe.
I got eyes in the front and back of my head. I'm always cautious.
And, the holidays aren't everybody's mind at this point. Gervier, you certainly are in the holiday spirit.
Do you not recognize Santa Claus?
Right, Santa Claus, excuse me. Santa Claus is our special guest here on In Case You Missed It. But you are actually getting folks ready for the holiday season with the most important thing that we're all shopping for right now.
A Christmas tree.
Christmas
right?
tree.
So actually, I'm going to go get mine this afternoon. And we always get a live tree. Everybody's got their own favorite or whatever. But I had the chance to go talk with our friends over at Pike Nurseries. They always do such a great job to talk about, what you need to look for if, in fact, you get a live tree. This weekend's going to be super busy, so take a look at what they have to say. Christmas is just a little over a couple of weeks away, and for those of you that have waited to get your Christmas tree, if it's a real live tree, we've got help for you today. Kara Ziegler is with Pike Nurseries. Kara, good to see you. You guys have great options here. So let's talk about it. This year, what's the availability like?
We actually have had great availability. Was a lot of rain on the West Coast and as well as the East Coast. So our trees this year are super fresh.
Okay, talk prices a minute because everybody wants to know the price tag of a live tree for those that like to get them.
Our pricing this year has been better than it has been in the past couple of years. So our prices have come down a little bit. This is kind of a new one called a Nordman fir.
Christmas is just a little over a couple of weeks away, and for those of you that have waited to get your Christmas tree, if it's a real live tree, we've got help for you today. Kara Ziegler is with Pike Nurseries. Kara, good to see you. You guys have great options here. So let's talk about it. This year, what's the availability like?
We actually have had great availability. Was a lot of rain on the West Coast and as well as the East Coast. So our trees this year are super fresh.
Okay, talk prices a minute because everybody wants to know the price tag of a live tree for those that like to get them.
Our pricing this year has been better than it has been in the past couple of years. So our prices have come down a little bit. This is kind of a new one called a Nordman fir, and it's really popular in Europe. It has these nice glossy green leaves. It just has a really nice pyramidal look. I would say that if you've got really heavy ornaments, it's not as good for heavy ornaments, but it gives you a really nice look when it's lit, a real neat European look. So this is a noble fir, and this is what that traditional Christmas tree is. It has the pyramidal shape, it has that kind of blue, dense green look to it, and it has pretty sturdy branches. So if you've got a lot of heavy ornaments, this is a good one to choose. Flocked is one of my favorite as well. I think that they're so gorgeous when they're lit. And what's nice about them is that it seals in the needles. So it seems like it would be messy, but it actually isn't because it's just a paper and glue substance, so it's not toxic. It keeps the needles on the tree. And then if you get a removal bag and put it under it, you can just, at the end of the season, just cover it up and take it out. This is your North Carolina Fraser fir. So these are all grown in North Carolina. They smell wonderful. This is what most people get as their Christmas tree. They have nice silvery undersides, so I think they're really popular because they've got the green, they've got the silver.
Let's talk about what you look for when you are getting a live tree.
So first of all, when you go and buy your tree, you want to make sure it's in the shade. You don't want a tree that's out in the full blaring sun. That's going to cause it to dry out quicker. Another thing, you want to look at flexibility in the branches. If it's nice and pliable and flexible, that means the tree's fresh and has had plenty of moisture and water. You also want your tree to be in a water bowl. So we put all of our trees fresh cut in water so that they stay in water the whole time so that they're hydrated. Okay. And then, if there are brown, there's not any in this one, but if it's brown and brittle, that's not a tree that you want to get.
no matter what tree you get, taking care of it, keeping it alive, making sure that those branches don't dry out is really key. So what's your advice on that?
So as soon as you get it, wherever you're buying it from, you want to get it inside and get it in water. You really want to do that within the hour of getting it back. So that's the first thing. You want to put tree preservative in the bottom of it in the container. So you can get a bottle of tree preservative. It's got vitamins, it's got minerals. It'll take it up the whole time and that'll keep it fresh.